Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games. Today we're going to do a review of Adrian's Tactics. Ha! Let's start that over. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games. Today we're going to take a look at a game called Adventure Tactics, Domin's Tower by Nicholas Yu. This is a dungeon crawl, a mission-based, semi-dungeon crawler, campaign-based game in which you are leveling up your heroes over the course of several missions, with a somewhat branching storyline and some interesting mechanics. Without further ado, let's take a look.
Okay, let's take a look at what's in Adventure Tactics, Domin's Tower. First off, you get lots and lots of tiles. Well, first off, you get these tiles that will make up the maps that you're going to play when you play them. You get a lot of enemy NPCs, mobs, and bosses in the collection. You have your own special set of heroes, and some of them heroes have summoning powers, so you'll have your heroes here. And then you get a banana load of cards. You've got cards of different varieties, and these are all going to be iteratively manifested towards you over time in the form of leveling up and things that happen during the campaign that let you have all the goodies. You've got attacks, basic attacks, level ups, different classes of characters that you're going to be able to level up to, and a nice guide. You've got your boss decks, and each of the bosses are a little different as far as how they operate. For example, I'll be showing you a demonstration of some of these goblins. The goblins! And each character has their own, of the 5 character archetypes that begin, you have their own custom boxes, which you will use as you play the campaign. You're going to keep the cards that they collect and the level up cards and etc. We're going to build up over time. You'll want to keep them in here. There's some terrain, not a ton, but some terrain that will be placed on the map during missions. You also have initiative tokens, because every round the initiative is a little bit different, so it does add a little bit of variety. And of course you get the pizza box size manual, which everybody knows I adore. Barely even see it, with chock full of things to do and why to do them. Also, you have lots and lots of chits for various things, different dice that'll be used for different attacks, health, etc., etc., and the campaign guide. And the campaign guide we're not going to delve into because it does give spoilerness to my madness here. But yeah, so you'll see the campaign guide, thick with campaigness. And we will be playing through the first mission, so you might want to skip the how to play if you don't want any information about it. And finally, you get the premier boards. Look at these indented boards, special slots for every player. They look really cool, don't they? Except they don't. They yeah, they're bowed as heck. These are the most bowed things I've ever seen, and it doesn't bode well for being able to play with them. As you can see, it's like they bow up. This is the first game I've ever actually put back in the box and decided not to play until I could figure out a solution. These, the normal operation of trying to steam them, put heavy stuff on them, bend them this way and backwards, it just doesn't work. It has been 100% failure for these boards. So the first thing I suggest you do with these, throw these suckers away. Instead, I went with these. These are nice boards. I like these boards. You can get these from Etsy for $14 a piece. A little bit pricey, but I decided that I wanted to try Adventure Tactics because I was so interested in it that I went ahead and did it. So if you are interested, if it drives you nuts, and it drove me nuts because honestly I have eaten rice bowls that were less bowled over than these are, then go ahead and look on Etsy and you'll find someone who valiantly does these for about 15 bucks. A lot of people probably wouldn't be bothered by it, or they'd put some plexiglass down, or honestly, you could probably even make your own, or slap some plywood on the bottom and glue them together. Anyway, too much work needed for this. We'll get into that later when we go in the pros and cons. Guess which one this will be? Anyway, let's get to an example of gameplay that isn't so acerbic and filled with bowed goodness. Okay, we're going to set up the first mission of the campaign. We've chosen this, and again, spoiler alert, skip to the comments if you don't want to know how this goes. In the campaign, you begin with a choice of two missions. I chose the easy one called Guard the Gate. A sizable goblin gang comes crashing through the gate. You recognize the leader, a cruel and battle-scarred goblin named Rigby. Not to be enters Sister Kathy. He snarls, "This is our village now. Best drop your valuables and flee while you can, varmints." I added that one in. Okay, so setup's easy. You follow the setup here. 3 heroes we're going to use instead of 4 and 5, and these come in later as reinforcements, signal flare, whatever. The interesting thing is the stats for these bosses are always here. And on this page, you can also use this as a place to store health, although it gets a little bit disconnected when you're looking at the character. But each one of these is individually wrapped, like a Dolly Madison cream cake. So you'll know GA1. There's no other GA1 here, so you'll be able to tell. So you place your bets on the board, and then every character has their own custom starting deck. Now I chose the wizard at level 1, and I chose the fighter at level 1, and the archer at level 1, because they only let you have level 1. And this tells you everything you get. You always get 3 attacks and 3 movements, basic ones, and then you add these additional cards to your deck. You also get a class feature. These are usually used once, maybe more, in a given mission, and they give you special bonuses that are specific to that class. You also have your health, which in this case is, right now we're at 6, because you get your starting health, etc. You'll get dice powers eventually. These help you manipulate dice rolls. You also get passive abilities. For example, here, you can move diagonally once during your turn when you're moving. That's interesting because normally diagonal movement is off limits. Same thing here. You got your special abilities, you got your special cards, you got your starting health. Tough, fighters start off with extra health. That makes sense. Archers, everything matches. It's all stereotypically delicious. All right, and then you have your monster deck, and this is where you will flip cards when it's the monster's turn. Let's just roll with it. So, first off, the map tells you where you can place your starting units. I keep my archer a little bit back. I will someday paint these, I swear. I'm going to put my here, and let's put the wizard. Let's keep him nearby. We'll keep him here and have him just stay here. Oh, a wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. All right, so that we go. We're ready to go. It's time to start. Everyone gets 4 cards. You can do 1 mulligan. We all pretty much should know what that is. And these are your 4 cards to begin with. Now, how do we tell who goes when during a given round? Well, that's where the law of initiative dynamics comes in. And that is where we use these here. I've got 3 tokens for the 3 heroes and 2 enemy tokens. During a given round, you don't know when is when. You mix it up. Ooh, all the tension. Thick with tension. Okay. All right, our warrior goes first. I like that. Then the enemy strikes. Then the enemy strikes again. Ooh. And then Olette, our ranger, and finally our wizard. Honestly, that's probably the best range I can go. Now, notice passive ability. After the initiative order has been set, I can move my hero up or down 1 spot. Do I want her to go first? Yeah, I'm going to switch her over just because I have an idea. It might not be a good idea. I never said that, but it might be an idea. All right, so guess what? Our warrior goes first. We look. She has, well, okay. She has 4 basic attacks. Worst shuffle ever. So, what do? Well, we do 2 of our actions on our turn. We can do 2 of our actions. There are some actions you can use instantaneously that don't cost an action. That's, well, recursive. Or not. But we're going to use this, and we can use this to move. We can always use any card to move half the distance. So, fighter, we're going to move the fighter 1, 2. We're going to make him be the tank. All right. And then that's it. That's all we got. I think we're going to stay there. That was sad. I was hoping for better because we have some rock tosses, some charge. Yeah. Oh, well. Sadness. All right. So we're going to leave that there. Then it's the enemy turn. The enemy flips over a card and says, each one of these is different. Every gang member moves towards the closest hero and makes a basic attack. Well, we know that our movement is 4. Or 3 for the archers, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is as close as we get. Can't move there. Then the hero, okay, gang member, Enemies. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're closer, but no cigar. 1, 2, 3. All right. So that's it. That's it. So now we have. Now the reason we had to let go next is because she's an archer. Her range is 2 to 5. She can't shoot things right next to her, but she can move 4. But what does she have available to her? Oh my gosh. Okay. What the heck? I swear I shuffled these. Let's make it interesting and just reshuffle these. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so clearly I'm not someone you want to adventure with. So we're going to do a basic attack. Basic attack says 2 to 5, roll the black die. We're going to roll the black die. We're going to target 1, 2, 3, 4 in range. And look, we got the mega bonus, 5. 5 points of damage on that. How much does it take to knock it out? 8. Haha, take that. And that's GM1, so we go to GM1. And I'm just going to put it there. All right, there we go. That's our first, and then our second, I think, she's going to do a basic move. She can move 4, which is nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to get her over here. Okay. All right. There we go. And that's the end of her turn. Now the enemy moves again. So we do all in. If a Rigby starts his turn adjacent to a hero, uses Smash. Smash is a special attack that's kind of powerful. Otherwise, he moves towards the closest hero and makes a basic attack. Every gang member moves toward the closest hero to it and makes a basic attack. So everybody goes. This is literally all in. So 1, Rigby uses the white die. We roll the white die. Boom, 2 hits for the fighter. Now we could heal as a reaction, but we're not going to. 10, 9, 8. So 8 points. All right. Then 1, 2. I'm going to try that again. 3. This time we are going to use the heal. We're going to just show how that goes. Roll the red die. 2. So we end up taking only 1 point of damage. I should have actually done the damage in that in case. Yeah, anyway. All right, so when you were damaged, heal. So I got to use that. That's pretty cool. And then finally, the archer. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep. So the archer's in range. Hits for 2. All right, so ouch. And then, so there we go. So we've got all that done, and now we're going to use it's time for the, ooh, look at that. What do we have for our teleport? Basic move. Man, let's show them something fun. Fireball. Forget that. Pretend that was Fireball. Fireball is a 1 to 4 target, and it hits for 1 around the target. So this is perfect. So we're going to do Fireball. We're going to roll the blue die. We're not going to do, can't move, and we're going to hit for 1 to 4 blue die and everything around it. So, and that, oh man. So 1, 2, 3 here. 4 around it. Ooh, ouch. 4 to everybody. I believe including our hero. Yeah, 4. So knocks this out, and then knocks Rigby down gives him 4 damage. Woohoo! All right. And so 4 damage on Rigby. And there you go. That's the end of the round. After that, what happens is the cleanup phase. Everyone gets to discard up to one extra card, unless they pass, in which case they can do more. And that's it. You basically go, then you rearrange. Here, let's add another one. Let's add another 2. Blah, blah, blah. And then you rework the initiative. You roll again. You figure out who goes next. 4, 5. So that's basically the whole. I mean, most of the missions are going to be like that. Every campaign mission is a little bit different, but that's pretty much the smooth flow that you're going to have for the combat. Very simple. The difference is, once the mission is done, you're often going to get a chance to level up. Level up is interesting because, for example, when you do get to level up, oh, I knocked them off. When you do level up, you get advance a level. You receive loot. You can also, as a group, collect different items, depending on how well you did. For example, if you do the mega success, you're going to get more bonuses, and if not, and then you get to choose another option for a different mission. Of course, yeah, failure is always an option, but not the one I prefer. What you do then is, say for the wizard, if a wizard levels up, you have some choices. You can go in here and you can choose to level up the wizard to level 2. You can dual class by grabbing, say, a fighter and say, I want a wizard and a fighter. Um, and well, not starter, but you can get examples of that. Here, let me show you the book. This is probably the easiest way. So what happens is you make this level ups over time when you choose to do these. So here's your cleric, your rogue, your archer, your fighter, your wizard. These are basic. Once you start leveling up to different to rogues, say you were not the bishop. Let's do. Oh wow, you can keep leveling these up, and as you level them up, here, let me show you. So say you were let's do the warrior level 2. I'll show you that. The warrior level 2. Fighter, sorry. So there you go. So when you level up, you get different, like it's all the same at level 1 because people, level 1. Okay, level 2 fighter, you get additional health, you get additional bonuses. Level 3, you're going to get another additional health, you're going to get more bonuses up to level 5. So if you wanted to just stay with your same class all the way up, you could do that. The thing is, at times you're going to want to switch and be a different class. You might want to be a warrior mage, a fighter mage, or an archer whatever you call it, archer wizard, etc. As you go up, you're going to notice that rogue 2, cleric 2. If you become a fighter and a cleric, when you level up, you can switch over to an entirely different elite class called a paladin, which has its own track. So it's very much like an MMO or a Diablo kind of thing, where you basically get to make your way forward, and basically you get to craft your character over the time and during the missions into something very unique to what you want it to be. Again, I won't go over too much of these, but that's generally the most interesting part to me, is going through after the missions and getting loot, getting things you can use. You have weapons, armors, and accessories. Again, certain benefits let you have dice powers, more passes. Basically, it's the most amazing feel of level up that I've seen in a game. I'm getting to the review. Anyway, that's an example of play. Let's get to my final thoughts on Adventure Tactics, Domin's Tower.
Okay, final thoughts on Adventure Tactics, Domian's Tower by Nicholas Yu. First off, let's get the elephant in the room satiated right now. The components themselves are decent, but right up until you get to the game and map boards themselves, and they are horrid. I've had warped boards before, and it's been something that's been kind of a nuisance. This is I put the box away. Like, I've had this game for a while. I put it away. I just simply couldn't handle the warping, and I was looking for ways to. Some people have had success with being able to flatten them. I have had almost no success getting them to flatten for very long. Ultimately, it was just too frustrating. I mothballed the game. However, as you noted, Etsy has made it possible for me to return to this game. And to note, they are planning on creating new player boards that don't have that warping issue, which will be available for at least for nominal cost later. I just simply wanted to get to playing it. The Etsy boards were awesome. I would not play without them. I was extremely happy to get them, and I will put a link to them in case anyone else is interested, because they really do add a lot of value to this game. Enough that I'm absolutely excited about the cost. So I do feel bad, because I know that nobody wants warped boards or stuff like that going on, but it happened, and here we are, and I've moved on with it. So the campaign is pleasant, if not. Honestly, it's probably the flattest part of the game. It's not bad, but it's just not noteworthy per se. I mean, the missions are okay. I thought they did a good, decent job of trying to introduce little elements. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential left. It walks a simplicity tightrope here, in that you have some pretty easy kind of ideas of what you're supposed to do, but the power really is in the level up system. That's really where it shines. The rule of thumb is that here you're playing through a story more than you're playing through a grand campaign of sorts. There were also quite a few mistakes and typos or ambiguities that I think hampered us more than they really should have. The very first mission has a pretty big mislabel issue. that made for ambiguous situations. Yes, I jumped onto Board Game Geek. I was able to figure out the solution, but this is the first mission. Like, and later on, there were some ambiguities that had people, I mean, other veterans, board game players who were very much confused as to like some of the nuances of play. So I hope that they managed to shore that up and maybe improve on that for the expansion that is being kickstarted. That's it for sort of the downsides. Let's get to the upsides. Let's get to the pros. There's a lot of character in this game, and I'm not just talking about the highly touted level up system. I really like the characters. I like the bosses, the minions, etc. I think they have a lot of personality to them. I think they're evocative of types of archetypical minions and bosses and characters that you play through, and I thought they did a good job. I liked that the characters have traits. They have specials in line with the campaign book, where you kind of feel this progression. I think the artwork is whimsical and kind of a Tales of Symphonia vibe, which I like. It's a really nice departure from some of the other deeper games of its ilk, the Alter Quest, Gloomhaven, Seventh Continent, vaguely, etc. I liked it. I thought it was a nice departure. Let's get to the non-elephant in the room. Let's get to the birthday party in the room, which is the level up system, which is a work of beauty and is refreshing, but familiar to computer role player enthusiasts. Introduction. The level up is a powerful, thoughtful action when you take it. You really are creating, steering, carving, crafting a character with abilities you want, that you like, that you can leverage in the campaign game that's different than what someone else would want to do. It's just the right amount of oomph for level ups as you go. It's not some of the other games in the past, like I say, the Journeys in Middle Earth. I thought the level ups are kind of tepid. They're like, yeah, if you're really a nuts and bolts mathematician person, you can see the advantage. I like something that's got some punch. Like when you're playing games, like when you're playing computer games, one of the worst things you can do is assign really low-key, boring sounds to epic moments. Like if you swing a sword and you crash into somebody's armor, you want that loud, the reinforcement of sound should not be underestimated. You'd be amazed how much a game will be docked based on how it just doesn't have that oomph. And I'm glad that the level up system in Adventure Tactics has that oomph that makes you feel like I leveled up. I'm now a little bit more powerful than I used to be. There's lots of directions to specialize, and that's also a big plus. Each one feels pretty solidly researched as you progress up. There's stats, but there's also weapons, special abilities, passive abilities, armor, etc. A whole host of things that you can do to craft and create your character in a way that feels just as meaningful as it does when I'm creating a character in an online role-playing game, for instance. You feel this sense of growing power, crafted to your liking, and that's the beautiful sweet spot of a level up system. Again, contrasting with other level up systems in recent games of its like that I thought were much more anemic in feel. So anyway, in summary, Adventure Tactics, yay, plus Etsy is a winning combination for me. While the storyline itself is not necessarily revolutionary, it's certainly entertaining in a summer flick kind of way. The tremendous level up system steals the limelight for this game. I want to see that system introduced now in a campaign style game much more deeply and richly than what we saw in the original box here, and I hope that someday comes to fruition. I think this is a great on-ramp game for more serious complex fare. If you just don't have the 100 mission crew for Gloomhaven, or the 10-12 hours for a full scale battle of Alter Quest, maybe 8 or 10, then this is an excellent alternative. It's a way to introduce casual gamers who would really be able to understand the ins and outs of play quickly here. It's a no-brainer for fans of computer RPGs and JRPGs that will find a familiar friend in the level up system and the artwork. So yeah, Adventure Tactics, give it a try. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward again to the expansion. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Harebrained Games.